Amidst the swirling twilight of Solarian, a lone figure knelt on the crest of the Whispering Hill. Her hair, dark as the void between stars, rippled in the gentle winds that carried secrets from the celestial dome above. Lyra's eyes, alight with the fire of discovery, were locked onto the vast tapestry of stars, now a fractured memory of their former glory. "Please," she whispered into the abyss, clutching a sliver of stardust that shimmered in her palm, "I need guidance." A soft rustle behind her broke the silence. "Gazing won't fix the skies," a voice murmured, belonging to none other than Calum, her childhood friend and keeper of the ancient scrolls, a title bestowed by the elders in the village for his insatiable curiosity about the forgotten lore. "I found this," Lyra countered, revealing a small, intricately carved key, its surface etched with patterns that seemed to swirl like a living cosmos. "Beneath the shooting star grove, it led me to something old and powerful." "What did you find?" Calum pressed, intrigued. "A loom, unlike any I've ever seen. It's alive, Calum. It called out to me." Before she could explain further, the skies rumbled ominously, the few stars that remained flickering like dying flames. A foreboding sign, for it was 6 moons past since the cataclysm had torn the heavens and their world had slipped further into shadow. "Come," Calum urged, glancing nervously at the looming darkness that encroached their land from the heavens. "We must speak with the elders about this." As they hastened down the hill to salvage what little hope they had, Lyra felt a pull, a connection to the loom she couldn't explain. Somewhere deep within, she understood that her simple life as a stargazer was about to transform into a tale as vast and mysterious as Solarian itself. The village of Astray lay nestled in a valley where shadows touched every corner in the absence of guiding stars. As Lyra and Selim made their way to the council hall, whispers followed them, speaking of omens and fragile hopes. Inside the hall, an air of urgency prevailed. Elders sat in semicircles, their faces etched with both wisdom and weariness, reflecting the gravity of their dwindling world. Eyes turned to Lyra as she presented the celestial key, its glow a stark contrast to the dim surroundings. "It is as we feared," Elder Mira spoke, her voice a tapestry of age-old strength and empathy. "The Star Weaver's loom is awakened. It bears the power to mend or unravel the world's fabric." "But why her?" Elder Rowan interjected, raising a skeptical brow. "She's but a stargazer, untrained in weaving such destinies." "Perhaps," Mira replied thoughtfully, "but courage and destiny choose their own champions." Silence settled before Lyra, emboldened by Mira's words, declared, "I will learn. I will restore the stars." The elders exchanged uncertain glances, understanding the perilous journey she proposed. "You'll need guidance," Mira nodded. "Seek the Oracle of the Moons. It said she knew the Star Weaver." Calum turned to her, determination in his eyes. "You're not going alone. The paths are fraught with danger." Reluctantly, the council agreed on Selim's companionship. "Beware, child," warned Elder Rowan. "There are those who seek to claim the loom's power. One fallen to shadow could eclipse all of Solarian." With the council's parting words echoing in her mind, Lyra and Calum set off. As they stepped beyond the village's threshold, a chill whispered across their hearts. Yet undaunted, they marched onward into the heart of mystery, where shadows beckoned and secrets of the stars awaited. The forest of Lyria stretched endlessly before them, its trees veiled in whispers and ethereal glow. Known for its enchanting beauty, the forest was said to shift under starlight, paths altering under the watchful gaze of celestial spirits. Lyra and Selim traversed cautiously, their senses keen, aware of each rustle and flicker in the periphery. "It's more alive than I imagined," Lyra said softly, her eyes tracing the shifting patterns formed by bioluminescent flora. Even in the absence of the full starry sky, the forest held a certain luminescence, a reminder of what once was. "We need to find the Obsidian River," Calum guided, unfurling a map, weathered by age and use. "The Oracle's domain lies just beyond." Hours turned into days as they navigated the labyrinthine forest, the air thick with magic and the lingering presence of unseen eyes. While setting camp near a grove of silvery trees, a voice, so gentle yet striking, broke the implied silence. "Lost, are you?" A figure emerged, her robes blending seamlessly with the argent flora. She bore an aura of timelessness, her eyes like twin moons watching through the darkness. "Revel," Calum muttered, recognizing the forest spirit known to aid those worthy. Lyra, feeling a strange familiarity, asked, "Do you know the way to the oracle?" A soft, knowing smile grazed Revel's lips. "Follow the river's song. But beware, the way is guarded. Shadows seeking dark power lurk along its banks." "Then that's where we'll go," Lyra resolved. Revel's smile deepened, a rare blessing of approval and maybe something more, a sliver of hope she dared not speak. "Keep your light close, child of stars. The darkness is only as powerful as your fear allows." As they moved towards the river, Lyra felt an inner flame kindling, a burgeoning strength she didn't yet fully trust but was determined to embrace. With each step they took, she felt herself drawing closer to her destiny, and the mysteries of the loom whispered to her from the very edges of her consciousness, weaving her path forward. The Obsidian River cut through the heart of the forest of Lyria, its inky waters glimmering under the faint glow of scattered stars. Lyra and Salem stood at its bank, enveloped by the symphony of the river's song that drifted on the night air like an ancient lullaby. "Listen," Calum whispered, his voice barely a ripple above the soothing current. "There's a melody in the water. It's entrancing, yet filled with warnings." Lyra furrowed her brow, concentrating on the song's layered notes. "The oracle's magic. It's guiding us, but it's also challenging us," she concluded, recognizing a cryptic message woven into the melody's soothing facade. Their resolve was tested as the riverbank narrowed into ominous narrows, swirling mist obscuring everything beyond a footfall. Shadows coalesced, tendrils reaching out with malevolent intent. Lyra felt a chill run down her spine as a low growl emanated from the shadows. A tense moment stretched out as they braced themselves, and then, with a flicker of light from the depths of Lyra's soul, the shadows recoiled. It was then that a voice echoed from within, seductive and sinister. "Give in, and the power you seek shall be yours." "What are you?" Lyra demanded, her heart pounding in unison with the river's tune. "I am the void that remains when stars fade," it replied, a spectral entity unfurling before them. "I am the corrupter of celestial threads. Step forward, and know despair." Selim's hand tightened around his staff, but Lyra stepped forward, eyes unyielding. "We won't yield. The star's legacy is ours to restore, not yours to consume." The entity's form rippled, its attempt to intimidate failing in the face of her unwavering courage. "Then pass," it hissed, retreating into the darkness. As the way cleared, Selim turned to her, admiration evident in his eyes. "You wield more than stardust, Lyra. The Star Weaver's spirit stirs within you." She nodded, a swell of determination rising within. Together, they followed the river's path, emboldened by their resolve to confront whatever lay ahead, inching ever closer to the truths the oracle would reveal and the profound legacy they were yet to fully understand. Beyond the shadowy veil of the forest, Lyra and Selim emerged at the oracle's dwelling, a secluded sanctum nestled within a grove of silver-barked trees, their leaves shimmering like frozen dewdrops under a spectral moonlight. The air here was still, almost holy, imbued with a palpable sense of ancient power. As they approached, a voice resonated from within the heart of the grove, a melodic harmony that seemed to speak directly to their souls. "Seekers of truth," it welcomed, "you stand at the threshold of cosmic understanding." The oracle herself stepped forward, her form radiant and ephemeral, like starlight given flesh. Her eyes glistened with the entirety of the cosmos, seeing both past and future, wisps of light trailing like remnants of forgotten constellations. "We wish to restore the stars, to mend the torn tapestry of our world," Lyra stated, her voice steady despite the awe she felt. The oracle nodded, her presence both comforting and overwhelming in its celestial grandeur. "The loom you found holds the key, yet its power must be tempered by wisdom and the courage to confront shadows within and without. Step with me." Within the grove's center stood a basin reflecting the night sky denied to them, a portal to places yet unseen. As they gazed, images swirled, planets, nebulae, stars bursting into brilliance, then flickering away. "Your journey begins with understanding the loom's origin," the oracle intoned. "It was created in an age when stars were first dreamt into existence, a vessel to weave harmony across the cosmos. But something threatens this balance, seeking to twist its threads into darkness." Calum, mesmerized by the cosmic dance within the basin, asked, "Is there hope if the darkness prevails?" "Hope resides in every choice you make," the oracle replied, gazing deeply into Lyra's eyes. You are the Weaver now. Remember, strength lies not just in force but in unity and insight. Trust the bonds you forge. They will guide you through the trials ahead. As the vision faded, a gift remained. A star-shaped amulet, warm against Lyra's palm, humming with dormant power. This will light your path when all else dims, the oracle instructed. May your spirit remain as luminous as the legacy you now hold. With newfound clarity and connection to the loom's mystic threads, Lyra and Calum prepared to leave the sanctuary, their hearts fortified for the battles yet to come, trusting that the stars themselves were on their side. Armed with the oracle's insights and the star-shaped amulet, Lyra and Calum ventured out of the oracle's grove, traversing the mist-laden forest path back to the heart of Solarian. The knowledge they now carried was both a beacon and a burden, and their senses were acutely aware of the looming threats that stirred in the shadows. "Where to next?" Selim asked, their steps a measured cadence against the ancient stones that marked their way. Lyra looked skyward, the sheen of the amulet reflecting a promise in her eyes. "To the Tapestry Peaks, where reality's threads vibrate strongest. There, I must learn to fully wield the loom's power before it's too late." Their journey took them through landscapes both familiar and wild, the path occasionally revealing signs of struggle. Torn earth, charred trees, evidence of the adversaries they would soon face. As the terrain grew increasingly rugged, a foreboding sense settled over them. Late one evening, as they made camp beneath the whispering boughs of an ancient grove, a visitor appeared, a young fae with wings shimmering in twilight hues, eyes wide and frightened. "Please," she pleaded, her voice a delicate chime, "the Darkened One has come. He seeks the loom's power, and he is not far behind." Calum leaned forward, concern etched across his features. "Who is this Darkened One?" "A fallen celestial spirit," the fae explained, her voice trembling with urgency. "He seeks to corrupt the loom, to weave the night eternal and bind all to shadow." Lyra exchanged a look of determination with Calum. "We can't allow that to happen. Show us the way to wherever he's headed. We must intercept him before he reaches the Tapestry Peaks." As the fae led them quietly through the forest's secretive pathways, Lyra felt the weight of responsibility settling upon her shoulders. In that quiet moment, she realized this was more than just her journey. It was a battle for all who dwelled under the fractured sky of Solarian, a chance to protect the fragile beauty of their realm. With renewed resolve, they pressed on into the night, embracing the challenge and the unknown, determined to face the darkness and reclaim the legacy of the stars. The Tapestry Peaks loomed ahead, their jagged silhouettes etched against the somber sky, each peak a monolith reaching for the heavens. As Lyra, Calum, and their fae guide neared, the air grew crisp with a foreboding pulse, echoing the urgency of their quest. The path twisted upwards, a serpentine trail surrounded by murky fog and eerie whispers. The fae paused, pointing towards an ancient archway carved into the rock, etched with constellations in patterns too intricate to be of mortal design. "Beyond this lies the loom of the cosmos," she informed them, her voice trembling with reverence. "But tread cautiously. The Darkened One is near, and his influence seeps into the very stone of this place." "There's no turning back now," Lyra declared, gripping the amulet that rested warm against her chest, a steady thrum infusing her with courage. She and Selim stepped through the archway and into a cavern that shimmered with otherworldly light. Within the cavern, cosmic threads flanked them, glowing with lost starlight and the dreams of forgotten galaxies. At the center stood the loom itself, a miraculous contraption that spun reality's fabric with ethereal precision. Its presence was overwhelming, a symphony of creation balanced on the knife edge of eternity. But it was not alone. A figure cloaked in shadows stood beside it, hands outstretched towards the threads, tendrils of dark energy coiling like serpents. "Ah, the stargazer arrives," he sneered, his form wavering with dark power. "Do you think the legacy of stars belongs to you, child?" Lyra's heart raced. "It belongs to no one but the world itself," she challenged, stepping forward, her resolve unyielding. "I won't let you twist it into darkness." "Amusing," he whispered, the air crackling around him. "Let us see if the stars favor you today." The cavern erupted into chaos, shadows clashing with starlight as the Darkened One unleashed his dark magic. Lyra and Selim fought valiantly, every moment pushing them to the brink. Yet Lyra's connection to the loom, imperfect but growing, allowed her glimpses of the cosmic dance needed to weave light from shadow. With heart pounding and soul alight, she found herself on the cusp of weaving reality itself, determined to defy the Darkened One and embrace the legacy that beckoned her towards destiny. The cavern shook with the reverberations of power as Lyra and the Darkened One battled over the loom's control. Shadows and starlight wove through the air like dueling serpents. The ground seemed to pulse beneath them, mirroring the conflict that would decide the fate of Solarian. Amidst the chaos, Caelim's voice broke through, a beacon of clarity. "Lyra, remember what the Oracle said? Trust the bonds you've forged." Guided by his words, Lyra closed her eyes, reaching out with her heart, letting the loom's threads speak to her. She felt Caelim's unwavering support beside her, the strength of their friendship a fortifying presence against the darkness. The Darkened One laughed, a cold, twisted sound. "Your misplaced trust will be your undoing," he taunted, the shadows thickening around him. But Lyra could feel something deeper in the loom, a pulse of unity woven from the cosmos itself, a connected web of life, memory, and hope. She centered herself, seeing not just the light confronting shadow, but the potential harmony within the loom's weave. With newfound insight, she reached into her deepest essence, tracing the lines where starlight intertwined with shadow, revealing a pathway to restore balance without breaking, the true art of the Star Weaver. Threads of light flowed through her fingers, intricate patterns dissolving the dark energies woven by the Darkened One. Yet the battle was far from over. His dark tendrils wrapped more insistently around the cosmic threads, determined to seize control. Lyra drew strength from every soul that had guided her. The Elders, Caelim, the Fae, even the Oracle. Their spirits bolstered her resolve, and she knew what she needed to do. "Aria Auroras," she whispered, invoking the ancient language of the stars, her voice resonating through the cavern, the words carrying the weight of her will and love. The loom responded, starlight cascading, weaving an intricate stardust tapestry that shimmered with infinite potential. Slowly, deliberately, the threads untangled from the Darkened One's grasp, inch by inch reclaiming their intended harmony. His scream echoed, a sound of defiance and rage, as the light washed over him, dissolving his form into the ether from whence shadows rise. Lyra collapsed to her knees, breathless but victorious, knowing one battle was won. But more challenges lay ahead before the legacy of the stars could truly be secured. The eerie stillness that followed the Darkened One's departure blanketed the cavern like a fog. Lyra rose slowly, the loom's interplay of light and shadow reflecting in the trembling waters of nearby pools, their ripples a silent applause to her resolve. Caelim approached, his eyes wide with a mixture of awe and relief. "You did it, Lyra," he said, his voice a steadying anchor amidst the chaos that had just transpired. "We did it," Lyra corrected, her smile weary but genuine. She knew the bonds she had forged with Caelim and all who had helped her were as crucial as the loom's threads themselves. Yet the victory felt incomplete. The loom thrummed softly, echoing the universe's call for restoration, for balance, work that was far from over. Back outside in the crisp, sunlit peaks, Lyra and Caelim stood overlooking the expansive valleys below, now clothed in the texture of burgeoning night, stars gradually regaining their rightful place in the sky. "We must ensure the loom's protection," Lyra mused as she observed the tapestry of stars slowly stitching back together. "We can't let anyone misuse its power again." Caelim nodded in agreement. "But how do we shield something so powerful?" "By sharing its legacy," Lyra replied with newfound certainty. Knowledge must reach others, more voices guarding this bridge between star and shadow. She envisioned teaching others about the loom's purpose, the responsibility it placed upon its keeper, and the art of weaving light with wisdom. Lyra knew this path would fortify not just the cosmos, but also the foundations of their world, unity woven through shared understanding. As they prepared to descend the mountain, Lyra felt the amulet pulse against her chest, a reassuring reminder of their victory. Her gaze turned upward, where stars now shone brighter, a canvas of infinite stories waiting to unfold. The journey ahead was daunting, spreading knowledge and hope throughout Solarian, uniting those who could protect the loom's power. Yet, Lyra embraced the challenge, knowing every step honed her growth as a protector of the celestial legacy. "Let's ensure the stars we guard today light the paths of those who follow," she whispered, as they embarked on the next chapter of their lives, ready to weave a stronger, more radiant Solarian. Lyra and Caelum's return to Estrel was met with awe and celebration. Word of their journey had spread, and the villagers, having glimpsed the growing brilliance of the night skies, gathered to hear tales of courage echoed through the constellation-strewn heavens. Within the heart of the village, under a canopy of reinvigorated stars, the council convened to hear Lyra's plan. Elder Mira, her demeanor infused with hope, welcomed them back. "You bring not only restored light, but unity to our people," she acknowledged warmly. "We must protect the loom's secrets," Lyra began, feeling the weight of her next steps. "By sharing its legacy with those whose hearts echo with wisdom and kindness, we can forge a fellowship devoted to balance." Elders, villagers, and newly inspired souls from neighboring lands joined their quest, each pledging to guard the cosmic threads with reverence and intelligence. The tapestry of protectors began to weave itself, threads of community strengthening under Lyra's stewardship. Days turned into weeks, and into months. Lyra taught students of all ages, guiding them through starlit nights, unveiling mysteries of the loom's ancient power while fostering a new generation of starweavers. In time, Caelum, his love for lore and exploration undiminished, became a seeker of forgotten realms, his discoveries expanding their understanding, forging new alliances to preserve knowledge's sanctity. One evening, Lyra found herself on the Whispering Hill where her journey began. Salem joined her, his presence a comforting silhouette beside her. "They say the stars dance brighter because of you, Lyra," he remarked playfully, a warm smile on his lips. "Not just me," she replied, her eyes tracing constellations that had guided her. "Our strength lies in our unity, woven as surely as the stars above." As they sat in peaceful silence, the tapestry of Solarian illuminated overhead, the same stars that had once faded, now vibrant with promise. A fitting testament to their shared journey. The sky, the loom, and their hearts beat with timeless resonance, a legacy of light defying shadow. Knowing the balance restored and continuing to grow, Lyra felt her spirit interwoven with every story yet to be told. A smile graced her lips, for she understood now that while the journey of the Star Weaver was eternal, its guardians were never alone. And so, under the watchful gaze of the cosmos, Lyra, Caelum, and their ever-expanding fellowship looked to the future, ready to weave every dawn anew, forever part of the eternal dance of stars.